Many of us want him gone, but James Tavernier is here to stay. Welcome back to Fog Football, and it quite is that simple. James Tavernier will not be leaving Rangers Football Club in the coming days. He is here for at least the remainder of 2024. Who knows what the 2025 January transfer window has in store for us, but I've got a feeling there's going to be a few bumps in the road between now and then. So let's look at it, let's break it down. Everywhere reporting this today that James Tavernier will not be leaving Rangers. And there's a few people out on Twitter right now. Graham Bailey, this is an exclusive from him on Twitter. Everyone's kind of just took his knowledge of it. He says, right, he's decided to remain at Ibrox despite offers to leave the club for Turkey. Rangers kind of seemed like we were willing to accept him as a club, but the headline is Rangers legend opts to remain at Ibrox despite offers of Turkish delights. Now, I for one like Turkish delights. Fries, Turkish delights. See the weird Turkish delights? They've got the powder on them and like the casing. Not my cup of tea. As for James Tavernier, he's no longer my cup of tea. See, I'd probably see at one point, I probably said, Tavernier, you know what? He'll end his career with a few more trophies. I slap him in the Rangers Hall of Fame. We can all be wrong at the end of the day. See, right now, it's the Hall of Shame. I'd rip him out of it. He's not a Rangers legend. He's not. He's not, right? If he left at the end of the Europa League run and didn't taint it even further, you'd be open to the idea. But, I see arguments getting made for this guy. Oh, there's not many other 33-year-old right-backs across Europe you'd take in your team. Well, so that means we knuckle down and keep him? I see this whole gimmick. 32, right, is not that old for a footballer. I look across Europe, man. Look at Dani Alves. The guy played about 40. Maybe a bad example considering we're on with him over in Brazil. But anyway, Jesus Navas, right? The guy was pretty old. There's so many old fullbacks. Juan Fran, not remember him for Atletico Madrid. And all these guys obviously are better than Tavernier. I mean, I don't need to explain how they are better than Tav, right? But James Tavernier is solo stats, man. Seeing you go through the amount of things that James Tavernier has cost Rangers over the years, man, it's absolutely brutal. Now, a Twitter account by @fuckbeal. Listen to this. Let's read through a few of these three stats. These are records broken by James Tavernier. Hibs hadn't won the Scottish Cup for 114 years until they met James Tavernier. Celtic had not won by 4 goals or more at Ibrox since 1897 until they met James Tavernier. Aberdeen hadn't won at Ibrox in 39 attempts spanning 24 years until they met James Tavernier. Ross County had never beaten Rangers in their entire 96-year existence until they met James Tavernier. Celtic had only won 3 trebles in their entire history, 5 trebles in 7 years as soon as they met James Tavernier. St Johnstone hadn't won a league game at Ibrox since 1971 until they met James Tavernier. Hamilton had not won at Ibrox since 1926 until they met James Tavernier. Rangers became the worst team in Champions League history, captained by guess who? James Tavernier. Rangers had not lost on the opening day of any SPFL season for 25 years until James Tavernier. Progress Niederkorn had never won a game in their entire European history. 2-0 win as soon as they meet James Tavernier. Rangers had never conceded 7 goals at Ibrox until James Tavernier. Right, I could go on and on there. I've probably bored you enough, but the point is, right, I get it. See, for the happy clappers and the James Tavernier fanboys, let me back you up for about 4 seconds. Is it all solely James Tavernier's fault? No, but he is the captain, and he's captain us to it at the end of the day. And a lot of those results, his defensive frailties did kick in. How many recent games against Celtic has he cost us? I'll flip it, yeah, they talk about Aberdeen winning the Ibrox, etc, etc. Last season, James Tavernier won us a cup final by scoring to make it 1-0. So, arguments can be made for both sides, but let's put it, James Tavernier has overseen pretty much all of the worst period in Rangers Football Club history. We are in the midst of being overtaken, being left in the dirt, and this guy has overseen it. So, it is what it is. You are a few moments away from immortality in Glasgow, And if that Aaron Ramsey, yes, I've said his name, if that Europa League final goes the other way and Rangers win, James Tavernier is getting paraded around like, the second coming of Jesus, alright? But the way football works, folks, no one remembers second place. And sadly for James Tavernier, he's been second a hell of a lot more than he's been first. And that is the reality here. But you've got FUDs here on Twitter, like Scott Bradley said, just for the record, James Tavernier will not be leaving Rangers anytime soon. Massive game this Sunday for the Light Blues against Dundee United. Rangers fans, get behind your captain with a fist emoji. I think he's taking the piss with that. Massive game this Sunday for the Light Blues against Dundee United. Get behind your captain. Get behind your captain. How many times have we been behind Tav and he's bottled it time after time? Let goals in at the front post, the back post, the near post, whatever postman you can get to. This honestly just seems like a piss take. This guy's supposed to be a Rangers fan. This sounds like he's absolutely ripping the pish clean out of us, by the way. Oh, massive game this Sunday. We're just the 5 points behind after 4 games. Oh, Dundee United battle for third. Get behind your captain. We've got behind this team time and time again. They're the ones that have not got behind us. And things like that just sound so disingenuous and so backward and so underhanded tactics. It just sounds pathetic is what it is. And yeah, that's where we're going to leave it here. James Tavernier is not leaving Rangers Football Club. It's shit because the guy costs us goals in games that matter, and you just know a lot more is coming where this guy's going to cost us. So it is frustrating. There is no two ways about it. James Tavernier will cost us more goals this season than he will score and assist because, it's the worst start he's ever had this season. I mean, it's been awful. He's been awful. He's not the only one. There's a lot of other players who've got to take slack. And by the way, guys, if we sold James Tavernier today, tomorrow, last week, whatever, wouldn't fix Rangers' problems, but it would be a start. And, there's people out there that believe that, James Tavernier goes, Rangers will win treble after treble. I wish it was as easy as that, but it's not. But for James Tavernier, he's staying. And I'm not going to sit here and say get behind him and do this, do that, because we all know when the going gets tough, this guy's arse will go. And, James Tavernier could score a penalty, right? We beat Dundee United 1-0. But if this guy is defensively slack and we get knocked out in the quarters against Dundee or we get scudded by Malmo, the heat's going to be turned straight back up. So, no one's going to forget the near past.